In our Mastermind program, we try to cooperate with God by coming alongside our students to help them to grow and to mature into the best possible Christian that they can be. And when it comes to assessing our students, there are 5 pieces of information that we are trying to assess, that we're looking at. And those 5 things are the individual's character, their capacity, their competence, their courage, and their compassion. Those are 5 critical things that we want to assess and address in all of our students. Now, it's not just for those who are interested in biblical counseling. These 5 areas are things that we should all analyze and assess in our lives. And so let me break them down for you just to give you a snippet of what we're looking at and how we're trying to cooperate with the Lord to help our students mature. The first one is character. Character is foundational to all of our lives. It's who we are in the dark. It's who we know ourselves to be. It's like the text in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12, verse 13, that God knows the thoughts and intents of our heart, that we're naked and exposed to Him. And so we know who we are, God knows who we are, and that is our character. Obviously, we don't know those things about our students, but we try to encourage them and motivate them to function and operate at the highest character, which is a Christ-like life. Now, the reason for this is because the end of the line, or the goal for them, is that they are going to be sitting in front of someone and helping them through a situational difficulty or a personal problem. And we want our students to be of utmost character so that they can care in the most effective ways with those people who are hurting and looking for help. But again, whether you're a formalized biblical counselor or not, we always want to be walking in an excellent Christ-like character. And then the second area that we're looking at with the student is their capacity. You can think of their capacity like a container. Each of us has a different size of container. God did not make all of us the same. And so some people can operate and function with this size of container, then other people have maybe more gifting than another individual, and we're not comparing one another, but what we want to do is to fill up our capacity, whatever our God-given gifting capacity is. And then the third category is competence. Well, competence is skill, talent, gifting. It is what we put inside of the container. And so if your container is this size, we want to fill it up to the fullest competency that you can possibly be. Now, we don't want to be a large-sized person, and we haven't trained ourselves to the fullest potential that we could be. But then also, you could have someone with a limited capacity, meaning that they would never be doing formalized biblical counseling. They would not be able to operate at the level of complex cases because they have a limited capacity. And they could receive all the training in the world, but there would be a lot of spillage. There would be a lot of overflow because they can only function at this capacity. Now, this is important for a person who wants to learn biblical counseling. They need a sober self-assessment of who they are. There are too many biblical counselors, in my view, who are operating as formalized biblical counselors, but they have a limited skill set. They have a limited capacity, and they may have received certification, but the certification doesn't fit within their container because God just hasn't given them the ability to operate at that level. And so discerning the student is critical. And then the fourth area is courage. You can think of courage as backbone. You have to have a backbone to be able to step into these difficult situations with people. Now, I'm not talking about being mean-spirited. I'm not talking about being harsh. But there are times when you do have to be clear and direct. There are things that you may have to say that you don't want to say, but you have to have the courage to say them. You can think about Christ in this instance. As you look at Him in the different vignettes throughout the 4 Gospels, He stepped into those courageous moments, and He said the hard things because He had courage. A counselor or a discipler that doesn't have courage will not be able to do well in counseling because you're always dealing with these difficult situations, and you have to be strong. You have to be the strength for those people, and courage is essential. It is a leadership gift. And then the fifth one is compassion. And the reason I add that is because some people can adulterate the word courage, and they can interpret courage as being harsh or being unkind or being rude. And that's why I want to add compassion. And that's something that we look at with our students, because it modifies courage and it gives courage the proper definition. That we should enter into our counseling situations with compassion. As one of my profs said, Wayne Mack, many years ago, that Christian counseling is neither Christian nor counseling if it is done without tears. And so we want to be that compassionate person. So those are the 5 areas that we're looking at with our students as we try to assess them through their training. They are the person's character, most important. And then on top of that, their capacity, and then their competence, then their courage, and then compassion. If you're interested in our Mastermind program, there's a link here in the notes here of this video, and you're welcome to take a look at our program, and you can start today if you wish. Thank you so much for watching the video.